have somebody waxing on in their purple and like, it's all spirituality, it doesn't translate all the time into our world over here. So Burning Man occurred to me as funny. Everything has a tongue-in-cheek. Nothing is usually taking itself very seriously. The temple is really striking because it's one of the few places that really has that weight, but comedy is everywhere. And
so I do have a question. I do have a question also. For Larry or anyone, could you imagine a set of circumstances where you think it would be a good idea to turn Burning Man into a permanent year-round community?
Do we have to go there?
Oh man, that's a loaded question.
Talking about the celebration that is Black Rock City the last 8 days.
Yes.
I think if you did that, if you extended, if you just lived like that for a month, you'd probably die. I don't think it would be a good idea. I believe, but I think that, if the question is, are the values that have emerged from that experience applicable to everyday life? Yes, indeed. 3 days ago, at our office on Market Street in San Francisco, we held the first meeting of the Burning Man Project, the nonprofit that we are going to give the event to in 3 years. And it's founded on the premise that very thing will happen. That it has aching relevance for the world we're all moving into in the 21st century, and that it is potentially applicable to nearly most departments in life. So, yes, but I think that applied to this world, that hectic pace of celebration would be absurd. But I think that the values, we've wrapped that nonprofit around 10 principles, and we want to work in aid of anything in the world that combines as many of them at once as possible. And so, in that sense, yeah, I think it could have a huge effect on the way we lead our lives.
Burning Man actually is a year-round event. Burning Man, for any of you who do a theme camp or an art installation or an art car, or you have a group of friends that constantly get together as that burner family, Burning Man happens year-round for you. Burning Man for me happens year-round. I'm constantly organizing events and looking for ways of pulling the community together to try to work on a gazillion different things. So the event itself happens for 1 week, but Burning Man as a way of life, as who we are as burners, that's year-round, and that always happens. And a lot of us take it home with us.
The whole point of the regional network is actually to decentralize community building around the 10 principles outside of the event itself, and it is happening year-round. I'll give you the short answer on the change that I know that we both feel is the case. It's a really interesting journey. It's not just our minds, the 6 of us that oversee it. We do have 40 staff members and 100, and it goes on and on and on. And we are really open. It's incredible. Volunteerism is a very interesting question. When we tried to figure out how many people volunteer for Burning Man, we decided the number. We're not publishing a number on the website. The volunteer department wanted to publish a number. We decided we couldn't publish a number. Why? Because by definition, the entire event is participatory. So by definition, there should be 50,000 volunteers. That was really, really recent. I mean, when she said, well, I talked to all the departments. I said, did you talk to all Micah Christian's people? Did you talk to all the people from the Flaming Lotus Girls, all the people from Opulent Temple? She's like, well, no. They're not in the organization. I said, but they're all volunteering to create the space. But that experience pushes back on us. And I mean, everything we do, all the rules, all the management of the streets, everything comes from response the community has. It's organic dialogue with experience, looking at it, changing, improving it, moving along. Everything we do, I mean, all of our decisions, we filter through that.
Even the layout of the city. There's been a couple of changes to the city over the years, and as the citizens of the city either complain or enjoy the way it's being laid out, those changes are made to the map, and some are kept and some aren't kept. There was a disastrous year where the clock became a compass.
Oh.
Holy cow. I got so lost that year.
That was cool.
It was cool. Nobody got it though.
Nobody got it. The clock became a compass. I mean, it took me like 3 days, and then I finally understood. But
Yeah.
I will say this, when you go, I've been for like 11 years, and when you keep spinning the dial on what your participation is, you can't go do the same thing all those years. First year we went as the petting zoo, and then we came back as our funky electric mayhem blacklight furry car, and then Stefan and I did a band, we did an Esplanade camp, and now we're the Black Rock yearbook. And if you just keep changing the context of your band, your car, the context of your participation, then and hang out with people that are going for the first time, then you get to see the event through their eyes again. And so really, otherwise you'll just be running through the motions, and it's.
Or you come to work for the organization.
Or you come to work for the organization, which that would be great.
or you volunteer with the regional.
Or you become a regional.
Or you become a regional, or
you build art, or
Athena didn't used to have gray hair, by the way, 2 weeks ago. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about.
You did this to me.
I gave a little talk to staff recently at a retreat, and we were looking at the future of the Burning Man project that we're creating. And we were being urged to come up with, a mission statement. What is it? What's the elevator pitch? And
God, you hated that.
I hated that. And finally, I wrote a little thing that basically said, what we do is we create context for social interaction. And actually, and it's a rather elaborate context. We become expert at doing it. We do more than bring 50 court parties. And we work for a whole year. We do a lot. We're proud of the skill we've acquired and the insight. But I asked them to think of that. So we make this bucket that experience gets poured into, and that degenerates experience, and when it works, and how we know it works is if it overflows. And it becomes this artesian source of greater culture. And what I could point to beyond the event is all these things, the regional movement itself, the efforts, the disaster relief that became Burners Without Borders down in Louisiana, the Black Rock, the solar and its work, and 100,000 more things to come. We're all part of this overflowing of the bucket, and in fact, all of that stuff we didn't think of. All we've done is use our elevated perspective at the center to act in aid of those efforts. And I'm proud of what we've done to abet that. But the phenomenon itself, the vital living thing, is culture on the hoof. Is produced by the interactions of people who attend. Once they open their hearts and they start giving to something greater than themselves and giving to one another, there's no containing that flow. So that's when you realize, if you do the job we do well, then you've got to be humbled by that natural phenomenon, and watch it and pay attention to it and serve it. And that's not false humility. That's realism.
Yep.
Anybody on Instagram?
So that's about all the time we have. They would love for us to get out of the theater by 10, and that didn't happen. Fly at 10. But I want to thank everybody for coming, and get on laburningman.com and see all the wonderful things we're doing.